right. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So, what the? Okay, I'm going to try and turn these projectors on. But in the meantime, yes, sir.
Can you go over the last question on chapter 1, the married couple names thing?
Yeah, can you read it to me because we're running into internet issues. I'm going to make sure I am. It would be easier if you read the question specifically to me.
Okay.
Or is it like a code question?
It's so long, yeah. It's so weird.
Do you have a specific part of the question?
I didn't understand anything about it.
Oh, shit. I got it.
So last one in chapter
So,
1. Okay, I'm going to start my browser up, and while I'm pulling it up, I'm going to take another question and come back to it.
So all it asks you to do
is
is just to
while that's
add
loading
another
up, does
print
anybody have any
statement
other
at the
questions
bottom
they'd like to ask right
that
now?
prints out the
Yes.
first name, then and the other one, so like pet and whatever.
I want you to write
then
code
you
that
put
doesn't
the last
suck, but I'm
name,
not
so,
going to grade you on it.
like,
No.
What I did was C.
Please don't write code that sucks. Do you have a question?
It didn't load it. Okay, it didn't save mine. But all you need to do is just get another name, so it's Pat and Kelly Smith-Jones. That's all you need to do here.
Opening brace. Same line or next line. This is a war, and I don't think we should have the Civil War here in this room right now. But I will tell you, next line.
Oh, too right.
Next line is definitely how I feel, for the record. So, and if any of you think otherwise, then that's fine. But don't write code for me. Next line. It's got to be the next line. Okay. Anybody else have any questions while I'm pulling this up? All right. Hopefully my browser doesn't.
Wait, what did you say about next line?
All right. So for anyone who's wondering, we are looking at Zybooks, the last part of the first chapter, which is the married couple names, right? All right. So let's see if we can get this to actually show up now. Yeah. So far, so good. All right. So that's the married couples example. This is pretty long, so I'm going to go through just the basics and try and skim it to make sure that anything that's difficult that we cover. So basically what's happening here in this particular example is we define a bunch of strings. We also create a scanner. We haven't gone into details about these, though they were covered a little bit in the first chapter. A scanner is a way you read information from the user. It asks for the first name, the last name. For the first person, it asks for the second person's first and last name and reads those in. So by the time we get down to this line here, we've written the first and last name of both persons. And then then what it does is it's going to print out the first name with the last name, and then the first person's first name and last name together, and then the second person's first and last name together. And then it's going to show us something slightly different, which is the two combined. So we say, the first printout says like Bob Jones and Jane Doe. Bob Jones and Jane Doe, right? So that's first name, last name, first name, last name. The second one says Bob and Jane Jones. And the third one says Bob and Jane Doe, in this case. All it's doing is flipping those last names between them. This is just an output example of the ways that you can use data that you pull in. Okay, does anybody have any follow-up questions about that?
For line 7, are you calling it like an empty string, and then it goes to the scanner and then inputs whatever you put in there?
That's exactly right. So just to repeat, he said, is it starting out as an empty string and then the scanner puts a value in it? And that is correct. What happens is we start it out as empty, there's nothing in it, and then down here in this line, we tell the scanner to read something from the user and store it in there.
That makes sense.
Cool? All right, anyone else? All right, so I'll say one more time, if you have not yet, please make sure you turn off or put in airplane mode your phones, not because I'm worried it's going to interfere with flight, but because I'm worried that not everybody will be able to get on the Wi-Fi. So, did you have a question?
Yeah, can I take the quiz on my phone because I can't connect?
So you can connect on your phone, but not on your machine. Okay, that's interesting. So if you are having trouble, so let me say this, if you're having trouble with your laptop and you can take it on your phone, that's totally fine, no problem. And you probably can because it's a pretty simple quiz. It won't take us more than 5 minutes. But please also send them an email to your TA because we need a list of the names of the people who are having trouble because IT has asked me to collect those so that we can try and figure out what's going on. So I know that's more than you asked, but does that answer your question? Okay.
Is the quiz on Zybox?
The quiz is not on Zybox, it's on Canvas right now. The labs are going to use Zybox, so those of you who have already been to lab know this. Yes?
Can you do one that's right before this one?
Wait,
The question right before this one? Let's see here. The salary calculation one? Yes, so what's happening here is we have a variable called hourly wage. We read that in. We set that to 20. And then we print out the annual salary is, and then we multiply that number, which in this case was 20, by 40, which is the number of hours in a week, by 50, which is about the number of weeks that most people work in a year. And so that's going to give us whatever the annual wage would be based on $20 an hour. The second part here does the same thing except that it's wrong, right? Because it's trying to calculate the monthly salary. Instead of dividing by 1, should we be dividing by? 12, right? So we should be dividing by 12. So that is this example. So I don't remember who you were, but hopefully I answered your question. Yes, sir?
so for the 1.11, what's the difference between initializing the string and just giving it empty quotes?
That's a good question. So giving the empty quotes is a type of initialization. It's just, sometimes you can initialize it to have a value that holds something, and sometimes you can initialize it to be empty.
Okay.
It's the difference between having an empty box and a box with stuff in it. Does that answer your question for now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyone else? All right, so I do need to modify the Canvas quiz, but go ahead and log on to Canvas if you can. And just as a show of hands, who is unable to connect to the Wi-Fi at this time? All right, so a lot fewer than I thought, to be perfectly honest, so I'm glad to hear that. So if you're having trouble with the Wi-Fi and you can't get on your phone, please email your TA. This quiz is like a 5-minute quiz, so it's not going to take long.
Do you want to use my computer?
So we're going to go ahead and take it. Those of you who can't take it, please email your TA because we need a list of people so that we can fix this problem. And I expect it'll be fixed by next week so we won't have this issue anymore. In the meantime, everybody else, if you could please log into Canvas. And I will modify the time for the first quiz because we're a few minutes later than I thought we would be. So everyone's going to have 10 minutes to take this quiz. I fully expect that most people will be done within 2 minutes. So. All right.
Almost everyone here already knows Java. So, you already took it. Well, we are. I haven't technically learned physics yet. I know the majority of the people in here are the ones who didn't do that well.